All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and today we're going to we're going to try to get inside the mind of Elon Musk.
Sounds ambitious.
It is,
Yeah.
but I think we got some pretty good source material.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's actually Q&As. It's super casual. He
yeah.
was actually playing video games while he's answering these questions, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah, and I
I've
mean,
done this.
some of the stuff he talks about is just completely unexpected, like his thoughts on Trump.
Really?
Yeah, you ready for this? He calls him an awesome dude.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
Me neither. And get this, he even says Trump was super interesting to talk to.
That's interesting given, everything that's happened since then.
I know, right? It's kind of like seeing a whole other side of him.
It reminds us that these public figures, they're still human.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of human, guess what Musk considers his main hobby?
I don't know what.
Video games.
Seriously?
Yep. He even calls himself a 21st century digital boy.
Huh, that's not surprising, I guess.
Well, it just kind of shows how deeply connected he is to technology, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, it's not just a tool for him, it's part of who he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it definitely influences his views on AI, too.
Speaking of AI, what did he have to say about all the latest advancements?
Oh, he's super pumped, especially about machine learning.
Makes sense. Tesla relies heavily on machine learning for their self-driving tech, right?
Exactly. And you're not going to believe this, but he actually revealed that Tesla employees are already doing trials of unsupervised full self-driving.
No way. Is that for real?
Yeah, and get this, he expects a commercial release sometime this year.
Wow, this is big news, isn't it?
Huge. But wait, there's more Tesla news.
Oh.
Yeah, he hinted that factory tours might be restarting soon.
Oh, wow. People have been waiting for that.
I know. But the real shocker is that Tesla owners will soon be able to talk to their cars and use Grok.
Hold on, Grock. What's that?
I know, right? It's all very, like, sci-fi futuristic, but yeah, Grok, it's like a super advanced AI, but not just any AI.
So, like a virtual assistant in your car?
Kinda,
Hmm.
but it's way more than that. Musk says it'll be able to do, well, pretty much anything you ask it to, like generating text and images, doing research, even medical diagnoses.
Wow, that's a bold claim, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But remember, this is Elon Musk we're talking about.
True, he does have a habit of making things happen that most people think are impossible.
Exactly. And it's not just about practicality. He actually wants Grok to be entertaining, too. He's serious about it, having a sense of humor.
A sense of humor.
Like telling jokes.
Yeah, he actually used the phrase based and funny to describe it.
That's interesting.
I know, right? He even shared this anecdote about his son asking for images of bunnies flying spaceships, and apparently Grok can just, like, create them instantly.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Right. So how soon are we talking for this Grok thing? Well, he said Grok 3 is just a few weeks away, and it'll have 10 times the training data of the previous version.
Wow, and that's not all. Grok Video is also in the works. It could be ready in a few months, he said.
This Grok thing really could be a game changer, couldn't it?
Totally. It's like having a super-powered AI companion. But all right, let's shift gears for a bit and talk about SpaceX. Musk gave some updates on Starship Flight 7.
Yeah, what's the latest on that?
Well, there's a slight delay of 3 or 4 days, but the launch is still expected sometime next week.
Okay, and what about that new Raptor 3 engine?
Oh, he's super stoked about that. He's calling it revolutionary and saying it's in a league of its own.
So for those of us who aren't rocket scientists, why is this engine such a big deal?
Well, basically, it's so powerful and efficient that they've been able to completely redesign the Starship booster and get rid of the heat shields.
Wow, that's huge. Heat shields are like a major part of most spacecraft, right?
Exactly. But the Raptor 3 is so good at burning fuel that they don't need them anymore. It simplifies the whole design and could potentially save a ton of money.
It sounds like this Raptor 3 engine could be a game changer for space travel in the same way that this Grok thing could revolutionize AI.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it? But you know what? We've only just scratched the surface of what Musk had to say in this Q&A. There's so much more to unpack.
I know, I'm ready for more. What else is there?
Well, we'll have to save that for the next part of our deep dive, but trust me, it's just as fascinating as what we've talked about so far.
Can't wait.
Me too. Stay tuned, because we're just getting started on this deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. So we're back, still trying to wrap our heads around everything Elon Musk shared in that Q&A.
Seriously, like Grok, an AI that can write a screenplay and diagnose a medical condition.
It's kind of hard to fathom, right?
I mean, what really struck me was how he sees Grok fitting into our lives. Like, It's not just about doing specific tasks, it's about having this AI companion that can handle any situation.
Yeah, he even said pretty much any task you throw at it, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, that's a pretty big claim.
It is, but think about it. He's done this before.
Yeah, like electric cars. That seemed crazy once, too.
Exactly, and now Tesla as well.
Yeah, so maybe Grok isn't so far-fetched after all.
And it's not just about being practical either, remember? He wants it to be fun, to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, that whole based and funny thing. It's
Yeah.
like he doesn't just want a super smart AI. He wants a cool AI.
It's like he's trying to make AI, well, more human.
Yeah, and who wouldn't want an AI that can tell jokes and create images of bunnies flying spaceships on demand?
Right. That anecdote with his son, it shows that even with all this advanced tech, there's still room for playfulness.
For sure. And imagine having that in your car. Like you said, Tesla owners will be able to talk to their cars using Grok.
Yeah, it's like having a co-pilot and a personal assistant all rolled into one who also happens to be hilarious.
Yeah. But it does make you wonder, about the whole responsible AI thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, how do you control something that powerful? What about biases?
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But for now, but you know what else Musk mentioned that I found really interesting? He talked about potentially bringing back Vine.
Vine, like the short video app?
Yep, that's the one.
Wow, that's a blast from the past. I wonder what he has in mind.
I know, right? Maybe he's got some Grok-powered Vine ideas. Who knows?
Oh, that would be wild. Imagine AI-generated vines.
Okay, now we're really getting into sci-fi territory. But all right, back to reality for a sec. He also gave an update on Neuralink.
Yeah, the brain-computer interface company.
Yep, he said trials are expanding to the UK, Canada, and the UAE.
That's huge progress. It could potentially help so many people.
Yeah, it's like something out of a movie, but it's actually happening.
And then there's Optimus, the humanoid robot.
Oh, yeah. He said we should expect an update in a few weeks.
Things seem to be moving fast with that project.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that robots could be doing all sorts of jobs in the near future.
I know, it's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time, right?
Definitely. Lots of questions about the future of work and all that.
For sure. But let's be honest, it's pretty fascinating to see how it all unfolds.
Totally. And, after this deep dive, it feels like we've only scratched the surface of what Musk is working on.
Yeah, there's always something new with him, isn't there?
Remember that little tidbit about him being a pro Quake player?
Oh, yeah, over 30 years ago, who knew?
It's like he's always been pushing boundaries, even back then.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, did you hear about his plan to test Starlink by live streaming himself playing video games while using it in the air?
Only Elon would think of that, right? This is like the ultimate stress test.
It's bold, it's a little crazy, but that's kind of his style, isn't it?
Definitely. So before we wrap up this part, what are your main takeaways so far?
Well, I think it's clear that Musk has a very specific vision for the future, and he's not afraid to go after it, no matter how ambitious it seems.
Yeah, and he's constantly challenging the status quo, whether it's with technology or just the way he thinks.
He's definitely not your average CEO, that's for sure.
All right, so we're going to have to pause here for now, but trust me, there's still more to come in the final part of our deep dive.
I'm ready. What else did he talk about?
Well, we'll get into some more of the political stuff, including his plan for that Starlink stress test. But for now, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Elon's brain. And I gotta say, my head's still spinning from all this AI and spaceship stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot to process, right? But we still have some interesting bits from the Q&A to cover, like remember his comment about Andrew Tate maybe running for prime minister?
Oh, yeah, that was a curveball. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, he did seem kind of intrigued by the idea, calling Tate a provocateur and saying it would make for some lively debates.
Yeah, which is kind of in line with, his whole approach of not shying away from controversy, right?
Definitely seems to genuinely like hearing different perspectives, even if they're, well, out there.
And then there was that comment about the AFT party potentially winning in Germany. He said he thinks it would be okay.
Yeah, that one raised some eyebrows, given their, their platform.
Just to be clear, we're not taking sides here, just reporting on what he said.
Exactly. It's important to present a complete picture of his thoughts, even the controversial ones.
And in fairness, he did mention wanting to have a conversation with Dallas, the AFT leader, to address those concerns and answer questions.
So again, it's about transparency and open dialogue, which seems to be a recurring theme with him.
Definitely. He's not afraid to engage with his critics. But, okay, enough politics for now. Let's lighten things up a bit.
Oh, yeah. What about that story he told about being a professional Quake player?
I know, right? Over 30 years ago, who knew?
It just goes to show that even the most successful people have these, hidden passions and unexpected backstories.
Totally. And it kind of ties back to his fascination with technology, even back then.
Yeah, always pushing limits, like with that Starlink stress test he's claimed.
Yeah. Live streaming himself,
Yeah.
playing video games while using Starlink in the air. Only Elon.
Classic Elon, right? Bold, unconventional, always got to test the limits.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your final thoughts? What really stuck with you?
I think for me, it's his unshakable belief in technology's power to solve big problems, like climate change, space travel, even human consciousness with Neuralink.
He's definitely a big thinker, not afraid to aim high, even if it seems impossible to everyone else.
And he does it all with this mix of brilliance, boldness, and, a little bit of humor, too.
Yeah, he's a complex guy, that's for sure. And this deep dive has only given us a glimpse of his world.
But hopefully it's made you think, sparked some curiosity, and maybe even inspired you to explore some of these topics further.
Exactly. So if you're interested in hearing more, definitely check out the full Q&A. There's even more to uncover.
And let us know what you think. What stood out to you? What are your predictions for the future? This is a conversation that needs to keep going.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a wild ride, but that's kind of what we've come to expect from Elon, isn't it?
Yeah, he never disappoints, does he?
Never a dull moment, that's for sure. But for now, we'll leave you with that thought. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.
Tuning in today for listening.